Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. And I am tired of talking about Armageddon for real. My God, people, the last 4 years has turned the title of this podcast from a satirical description of a world that was working pretty damn well.
The satirical description of a world that was working pretty damn well podcast with your host, Christopher Titus.
Run by a black president who was kind, competent, and tough. And it's changed the name of this podcast to a serious commentary on the slow-rolling apocalypse that Trump and his anal polyp minions in the GOP have fostered upon us. So today, let's play nice. Christmas! That time of year when you stop thinking about what you want and start thinking about what others want. You know, gift buying for me is, an anxiety-creating stress tumor fest that, frankly, I could do without. Because I was raised where you didn't lie about gifts you got. I remember getting my dad presents year after year after year, and he would invariably say, why'd you give me this? Well, Dad, it's because I'm obviously a loser and stupid. And maybe next time, could you at least lie to a little kid? Actually, that happened when I was older. Gift giving was traumatic with my dad. When I got a little more successful, I went out and bought him custom wheels for his 1972 Ranchero GT. I spent $1,000 on new tires and wheels. I had them mounted. I drove the car home and I presented it to my father. Ta-da! And my father took one look and said, "The fuck did you do to my car? Take those off right now. Who does this?" Right. Who does that, Dad? I guess just a man who is begging for his father's love. Well, so instead I'm going to become a stand-up comedian, Dad. You're going to pay for this, old man. So now I have extreme PTSD, present traumatic stress disorder. The fear of giving causes panic attacks, not because I hate being generous, but because I don't want you to hate what I give you. I'm blessed with a new, amazing wife who, by the way, never lets on that she hates my gifts, and I love her for that. She smiles. She tells me how much she loves it, and then leaves it out for a few weeks, because she's going to wear it at any moment. And then somewhere around January 18th, she returns the gift, like someone sneaking across the border from a war-torn nation in the dead of night. And then she gets what she wants. But I love her so much for the lie she tells me first. Because that lie about how much you absolutely love that gift makes me happy. To you out there who open the gift that doesn't fit, is the wrong size, and not even in your color palette, you are appreciated for your lies. When you say, "Oh, it's exactly what I wanted," while at the same time covering your own disappointment and not getting your heart's desire and hiding your sadness and pasting on that fake appreciative smile. Oh, God, that is what a hero does. And you lying about the gift you just received is the true spirit of Christmas. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and a kick-ass Kwanzaa to you all, and to all a good night. Hello, everybody. Christopher Titus Podcast. That was our Christmas feel-good Armageddon Update. Everything I do comes from trauma. With me, as always, speaking of trauma, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people? But also, what?
And with me, as always, the Hylinder.
There could be only one.
I don't think that I take back things you give me. It's very rare if I do.
But here's the great thing. When you do, there's times you've also done this. I bought you something, you went crazy for it, and you put it away, and you never ever wore it again. You never worn it.
No,
it just stayed there.
That doesn't happen.
It happens once in a while, but I'm saying it's great. I don't care. I bought you the gift. It's
you
your
more
gift.
than any guy I've ever known.
Yep.
Even my niece, when she said she's in the Marine Corps now and she needed some workout, like sweatshirts and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I said, well, Uncle Titus went to Lululemon and bought you some stuff once I told him. And she goes, oh, good. He has great taste. Because my nieces would see stuff he would pick out. And so all the women in my family, my sister as well.
There you go.
My grandma, everybody thinks he has great taste. When I was first dating him, oh, shut up. When I was, well, you're from Oakland.
Fremont, Newark, the Crystal Meth Triangle with Hayward right there.
When I first was dating you, very early on, you were in New York, I think, and you told me you went shopping for me, and I was like, what?
Uh-oh.
And you bought me 3 or 4 shirts that I wore to death. I couldn't believe it when I saw them. So
it really only takes one time. To one traumatic
I think
event
it was one time, and now he's
just laser focused on that.
Well, you were raised. He was raised like me. Presents in my house were, first of all, Christmas was a hated holiday. With my father, Christmas. I don't know what happened to him as a kid,
sad.
But it was like I think we talk about this almost every. But it was like Satan's holiday. And again, I blame my grandma Titus because, as I found out later in life, she was the trauma of the family. My grandfather was this party, hung out with Slim Pickens, and was this funny ass. Just crazy dude, but a bit shiftless in a sense. He didn't go to work a lot. He had workman's comp. He was a welder, but then he got hurt on the job.
Like 20-year permanent injury.
Gotta get.
Yeah, wait. You've always described her as the bitch, but I'm starting to see her side.
No. I'm not saying she was, but here she held on to it long after Grandpa was dead. So she was right. She was saddled with 4 kids, 3 boys and my Aunt Kathy. Saddled. That's how I would say that, and I would say that it's a burden, and she had to work. And she had the kids and was working full time. And my grandfather was partying with Slim Pickens and his buddies and drinking.
You said Slim Pickens twice. The actual Slim Pickens?
The actual Slim Pickens.
Oh, I thought it was just like a
meth dealer in Fremont.
Slim Pickens. MC Slim Pickens. It wasn't the real one. It was MC. Grandma. There's a story my dad tells where when he was a little kid, they came back. They had a place up in the Delta on the river, and it was a walnut orchard. And they had bought it, and they were up there because I think my grandpa thought, "Oh, I'll sell walnuts." And
what? How random! What?
He had a walnut orchard up there, and there was a bar down there, and I'll never forget it because I got to go there when I was a little kid, and it had one of those 50-foot long shuffleboard tables, those long bar ones.
Oh yeah,
in the corner. Yeah. Anyway, so they came home one night drunk, and my grandma beat the shit out of Slim Pickens on the front porch with a broom. I'll say
that's awesome.
I just picture like
why have we not reenacted that?
Whooping and a wailing. So that was it. So my dad had a professor, and I don't know. My dad never explained his trauma with Christmas. He was not a good giver, and not a good, and I think a worse getter. He did not. I don't know who beat into guilt about getting gifts. It's taken me years, hasn't it?
Yes.
I'm better at Christmas now than I used to be.
You're great. Actually, my sister and I were just talking about that. You really get in the spirit. You love to do dumb Christmas things. You love to go shop for Christmas.
But it took years.
It took a long time. Yeah. I was surprised sometimes when I first met you. I was like, ooh.
I used to bitch about the tree too. My dad bitched about the tree all the time. All the things I hated as a kid, I took on. Isn't it weird? Yeah. Why do you take that shit on? What is wrong with us that we get programmed by the parent? As I said, parenting is contagious.
Yeah, we had to deprogram ourselves, right? And that's what you're saying. It did take a while.
We talked about yours last year too. The garbage bags. Your dad just showed up with stapled garbage bags. And
it's whoever it fits on the bag.
That's the saddest thing ever.
Here's it. This is for whoever it fits.
In a black hefty trash bag. It wasn't even wrapped. It
wasn't even a nice kitchen white one.
It wasn't even on a newspaper.
Scented.
Nothing.
Not a bow?
Nothing.
Well, the hefty bags, they have the yellow.
It had a yellow. Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think it was tied though.
That's a bow.
It reminds me of that scene in Breakfast Club when Judd Nelson does that whole scene where he's like, "Smoke him up, Johnny." That's what it is. That's
totally like that.
And you're Judd Nelson in Breakfast Club. Wow, that's crazy. And Christmas is Christmas. It's so funny how Christmas has it is the happiest holiday, right? So it's easy to make it traumatic.
Yeah.
If you fuck it up, it sticks with you forever, right? You know?
Because everyone's supposed to be on your best behavior and everyone's supposed to be happy.
Joyous and loving.
And then something goes wrong, something's really wrong with you.
If you can't
pull it together for fucking Christmas.
Right, it shouldn't be the homicidal triad. There should be a fourth one. And you hate Christmas. What is the homicidal triad?
They were thinking about adding, they may have, I've been out of it for so long, but it was arson, bedwetting, and cruelty to animals. And there was an
hatred of Christmas.
Dominant, overbearing mother was one that was discussed as being added, but homicidal quad doesn't sound quite the same. So,
that could get you canceled.
yeah.
By the way, I would go see that fucking movie in a second. Homicidal quad. Just guy with a neck. You're dead. What are you talking about? Yeah.
His modded wheelchair with blades.
It's going to
Just
take
a
me
lot
a long
of
time
threats,
to kill
but
you,
yeah.
but you're dead. He just keeps running over the guy's foot.
I'm going to work you down.
Eventually, you're going to trip, and then I'm going to start running over your leg.
It's kind of like Chucky.
Homicidal quad. I am a killer. I'm sorry. I don't know how the Christmas episode started with a homicidal quad.
Well, I think
you
I
said
say
it.
this every year that for me, Christmas was a big deal. My mom started it a month before. She had a folder that I was desperately looking for in her storage unit this past week of Christmas stories that she had pulled out of McCall's. Do you guys remember McCall's magazine?
But it's almost sickening how perfect
She
your mom's
would
Christmas
every
was.
night, every day, we would do a Christmas craft leading up for the month, and like we made our own
Like
ornaments.
an advent calendar of Christmas crafts. Didn't you run
We
out
made
after
our
30?
own newspaper. Oh God, no! We made our own newspaper with potato stamps and tempera paint. Christmas, you carved the whatever. We made etched glass ornaments. We made the blown out egg ornaments. We
got a
made the
cavity
pine
from
cones
yours.
with the glitter. We did something, and then in the evening, once we got in our pajamas, my dad would light a fire and we'd curl around on the floor, and my mom would read a Christmas story. And we always knew how they turned out, and she would cry in the same place and everyone. And it was, that was my Christmas. And then on Christmas Eve, we would do, you both are like, Christmas Eve, we would do an annual Christmas Eve party that everyone came to.
Just understand, we're little kids looking into the window of a toy store. We're never going to be
my
allowed
mom
in.
also,
With no shoes on.
Yeah, with no shoes on.
Also,
and a guy with a blade on our throat.
one of the things we would do each day leading up
cops at
was
our house.
make one of her foods. She made her own summer sausage. I just saw her best friend, Miss Judy, when I was there, and she still has the basket. My mom hand painted peach baskets and filled them with all these homemade goodies that we made for people. And we made summer sausage. We made coconut bonbons. We made her striped cookies, everything. And she would fill the baskets and give those to people with wine or whatever. But then on Christmas Eve, it would culminate, and my mom had hand sewn a floor length green velvet
hear this,
skirt.
what you
hand sewn
hear
the floor.
what you're doing. Yeah, she hand laid. Yeah.
And she made matching ones for my sister and for me and my sister's friends. She would pay them to go around with trays and serve. And
They had a big party.
Even the neighbors, even the neighborhood was like your family.
She actually had tiles flown in from the manger where Jesus was born.
Do you
and
see
then,
why?
And then paved the hall. And to mix the cement, she used angel tears. Mixed that to make the mortar.
do you see why? Oh, and then we did the Christmas Eve play, and my cousins and I always had our own part.
Oh,
and I had my Bible verse that my sister yelled out from the living room this week. Hey, Ray. And she said the prompt line right before, and it just came out. I still remember the line. And anyway, we do the Christmas play. And okay. Well, now do you see why I'm so all about Christmas?
Yeah, but no, but like we can't like what you just described. Him and I were going through. I was going through this dead zone of like,
Yes.
like why did you
Trying to
get that? Yeah,
My dad was arrested Christmas Eve.
yeah, I had.
Your dad was really arrested? Okay.
Yeah.
For what?
For
Stealing garbage bags full of clothes. Whoever it fits.
It was also stolen.
stealing from the homeless shelter.
What did he do?
He was
you haven't shared this
drunk.
tidbit.
He was
Okay.
drunk driving, and he jumped train tracks and smashed
With his car?
blew out all the wheels,
He jumped.
Oh wow.
drove home on
the
rims
rims.
with sparks flying. I swear to God, the marks are in the street are still there. Drove home. Obviously, the cops. He was reported. The cops tried to pull him over. He wouldn't pull over.
Oh, dear.
So and then he
Sparks
hit
flying.
somebody and kept going.
A person or a car?
A car.
Right.
Okay.
Hit a car.
At least there's that.
Yeah. They finally were able to stop him, and they arrested him. And then my mom had to stop wrapping the 3 presents for 6 kids and go get them out of the
So I
police
see
station.
It was like pit bull fight. She'd throw 3 presents in the center and say, "Go get 'em."
This is mine.
Oh, wow, dude. Wow.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was 12 at that time.
Perfect
12.
age for you to totally not think, to have some insight into it and know, hey, this is just how it is. It goes, perfect age to not fuck you up for the rest of your life.
And at that point, I was like, of course. Yeah, of course.
I had the same thing with my mom. I had the same thing where mom was just nuts. And like, where are we going? We're going to go to Napa State Mental Facility to go visit her. You know, it's
Aw.
Christmas.
Did you go see her at Christmas?
Isn't that right? Yeah, holidays, you would go see it when I was really little. That's where that joke, where I used to, when I was in kindergarten gluing macaroni to paper plates, my mom was in therapy gluing macaroni to paper plates. So there was a connection is what I'm saying. I'm saying that we were connected. Grandma Titus seemed to hate any holidays. My father like had this weird, it took me years. It's basically how you've done with me. It took me years to get my dad to even allow a Christmas tree in the house. It was just, and then one year before Christmas, we have this guy who's selling fire extinguishers and home fire alarms door to door just before it was required. My dad had, here's the deal. So basically, if you came and listened to the guy's pitch, he gave you a free fire extinguisher. So my father says, I'll let the guy come in the house for an hour and we're going to, and go ahead, let me hear.
To get a fire
to get
extinguisher.
the free fire extinguisher. Yes.
And and learn about Jesus? Was this like a
yeah,
combination?
Yes, it was a Mormon. It was a
We're
Church
gonna
of Latter-day
extinguish the
Saints.
sins out of
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Do you guys remember that, looking out the window and seeing
Yes.
them on the bikes and locking the door and closing the blinds and being like,
Yes.
shut up.
Do we know these 2 15-year-old boys who are in a suit?
Yeah, they were matching suits. It's like the shitty Blues Brothers. Wow, I almost said Blues Brothers.
Bluth Brothers.
Without the jackets. So the guy sits at the table. My dad makes me sit there with him, and he starts talking about fire alarms. And what the guy does for the next hour is talk about how many children die in home fires, how many pets die, how many people lose everything they've ever had. And I'm a little kid. I think I was, let me see. So Carolyn had moved out. I was probably 9. And I'll never forget sitting there, and the guy left, and I go, Dad, we need to get an alarm. I was like freaked out.
Yeah.
And he's like, we just fucking shut up. We got a free fire extinguisher.
He's got a room full of extinguishers. He's collecting them.
He's just got a stag up. No, but I think that's how he got me out of it. We got a fire extinguisher now. We're good.
Yeah. That's for you to play with. I got you.
We still have to wake
Merry
up,
Christmas.
though.
Here's your gift.
Yeah, man. I'll never forget that guy. I was so scared of fire. I used to have nightmares. That was the only thing I've ever had nightmares about in my life. For about 3 weeks, I had nightmares of the house fires all the time.
Yeah, that makes all the sense.
Yeah, why would he just sit there and just allow this guy to scare the shit out of me? And what a great sales technique that was.
Fear.
Yeah,
Yes.
fear. Because imagine sitting with a husband and wife, because my dad, and the wife going, we're getting a, because he would then.
Yeah.
Me, he was like, shut up, we got a fire extinguisher. So Christmas is that was in November, so I was scared all the way through Christmas. Then my dad we never had a Christmas tree in the house, except when he was married to somebody, and then the second he was
Which
divorced.
was often, I mean.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but there was a lot of spaces.
Looking back, do you have
Between
any,
5, there was spaces.
Oh.
do you have any views on why that was? I have some theories.
About why Dad was like that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
kind of. It seemed like he just didn't like it. Like he was angrier than usual.
Angry. It brought something up in him. Yes. Christmas did.
I feel like it was a big reminder of how not successful or how bad he's doing.
Really?
And he was just reminded of.
I get that.
Stressed about bills already.
Yes.
Stressed about paying for food and everything for the kids, and now everybody's shopping and there's commercials and the malls are full and the kids are saying, I want this, I want that. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
He's already stressed leading up to it.
Yeah,
And
he lives
then-
in stress.
Yeah. And then end of the year, it's like just a big celebration of
How
little
how
you have.
fucked up.
Oh wow! And this is our Christmas episode. Wow! I just
we do
got.
this?
Oh, by the way, that makes sense though. But here's the thing, though.
So anyway, my mom hand sewed
Oh,
a
my
tree
God.
skirt and 6 stockings. We should put the picture up. They're very funky 70s, 80s kind of look. Hand sewed all of those. This was some of the stuff I brought home this week from the storage unit, and hand sewed a lot of the ornaments and hand painted.
That's just a mindset. That doesn't cost any money. I mean, very little.
She just
but
loved
It's all
doing
handmade
it.
stuff.
But this goes back to what those shows are always about. What you just said is like everybody's like, so I get like it too. Like she has highfalutin tastes, and so she sends me a list of stuff, and I'm like, okay, yeah, okay.
Oh, you should talk.
Well,
Patience.
no, I sent you my list after you sent me your list. So
No,
I'm
you
like,
didn't.
I didn't.
No.
Oh, then I did send you a couple.
Yeah, you said you jumped the gun, buddy.
So
Is yours all car parts and Home Depot visits?
There is a couple.
There's-
There's
yeah.
some car stuff in there. Yeah, there was.
There usually is. Yeah.
But you have to be realistic about it, man, because when the divorce happened, she was buying, and not Ray, my ex was buying the kids like spending not paying the mortgage.
Yeah.
So the money, any money I sent her to pay the mortgage, or whatever, she was spending on Christmas present to win.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? At one point, it's just about like all the. Here's what you don't remember from. And by the way, this is a good example. What you don't remember from your Christmases is your gifts. What you do remember is all that stuff your mom did that was reading stories and throwing a party and having fun. And the gifts don't mean shit. They break, especially if you're a kid.
Yeah.
So people, take the note of that. Sit down with your kids. Read a Christmas story every night the week leading up.
Yep.
You know, we used to sit down and watch the Grinch.
If you guys want a copy of the closer Christmas story,
We'll
my
post
brother found it and scanned it in.
Which one is this?
Alvy and the Great Event.
Yeah.
And my mom would cry in that exact place every
I wanna
year.
start crying now.
It's brutal, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you want it, just hit us up on Titus CWI contact page. Not Titus CWI. That was half email and half website. Go to his website on the contact page, and I'll shoot it back to you. It's awesome.
You're right, because all the things that you mentioned it was mostly just it was time and energy from
And
your mom,
spending
and
with
like
it.
being with her
Being
and
with
doing
us,
Like
these
if
yes.
you wouldn't have
things.
given a shit, we get in a bag full of clothes. If your dad was sit down, you guys have blown out eggs and painted ornaments.
Yeah.
You'd be like, "This is fucking awesome."
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got matching shirts, Dad.
Yeah,
It would have been
think
great.
I don't want to be trite about it, but I mean, I just got like what you said and what you just explained go together perfectly.
Yes.
because I don't remember. I honestly can't tell you any gift I remember. I just remember Christmas being stressful, as do you.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Christmas being joyful, and yet you don't remember any gifts you got.
I remember a few, but
You know
not,
what I mean.
Not really. I mean, yeah, I just remember, and we pretended that Santa Claus was real. I told you guys my mom thought that was lying to us. My mom, so
This is
I
great.
never was told Santa was real. I've told this before because my mom didn't believe in lying to us my whole life ever.
So did you have to lie to your friends?
Hell
who did believe
no!
it?
I called a
just
neighborhood
went up,
meeting and
you're
told
like,
them all, and then
"Bullshit."
one of the moms called my mom and was like, "Why is Rachel?" But that's what I always. That was
She
That's
called
who I
a
was
meeting.
then and who I am
got some
now.
good news and some bad news. Well, actually, it's all bad news. Listen,
I got the inside track on this.
But I said, but when they were upset, I was like, but you guys can pretend like we do. That's what my mom would say. But we pretend. That's the fun.
it's fun, right?
Yeah, we still pretend. He still gets a stocking in the morning and his Santa presents laid out that aren't under the tree. And it's a whole presentation thing. My sister still does that. We're still,
Well, I appreciate it so much. Like you trained me to. I probably would have been with my kids without meeting you. I'd have been with my kids how I was when my dad was with me. But you changed that. My kids got some because of Ray and me. My kids got some Christmases. I don't even know if they'll remember them.
we started a new thing, the North Wind letter.
The North Wind letter. I forgot.
My mom
the
never
North Wind
did
letter.
that. We did a Santa letter, but he had this idea and he called it the North Wind letter, and the kids had to put it on top of the fireplace. And when it was time, the North Wind would come and blow them out and go. And so I guess we lied to your kids, but
Fine with that. Their mother was doing it.
so some
At least we were lying about fantasy and fun.
some mornings it would still be there. It wouldn't go right away. So they could add to it if they needed to, but it could go at any time. So North Wind letter, that was
Yeah,
one
when
of
the
our...
North Winds, so it would stay out for a couple weeks. You have to leave it out because you never knew when the North Wind would suck it up through the chimney, and that would be their letter to Santa.
And then it would just be one morning it would be gone.
Yeah.
Then they just like, it must have blown away. Okay.
But we timed it a couple times with the weather. We timed, like the
Right.
weather,
Yeah.
Awesome.
like right now,
Yes.
and it was like, I guess it
Because
went last
typically
night.
in December we do have 1 or 2 days of rain or heavy winds
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we made it real at least.
Yeah,
Nice.
we worked it out. It wasn't one of the 80 degrees days. Yeah, the North Wind came. yeah, it's, put on some
All the
SPF
way from
100 because the North Wind. from yesterday.
I've done some premiere of some special effects,
Right.
for like Elf on the Shelf.
Right?
So I've filmed Elf on the Shelf, and I like put like a fishing wire or something, and I'll film it, and I'll make him move, like make him turn his head,
Right.
And I'll show it to Wyatt and be like, Wyatt.
We didn't have Elf on the Shelf, and even when Kenny and Jet were
I don't even
little,
know
it
what that
wasn't a
is.
thing yet.
Oh, you don't know? It's like it's an elf, and he sits on a shelf.
Yeah.
That's literally
You just
what
buy
it is.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you buy it.
There's a whole story behind it.
Yeah, but every morning, like the kids will wake up and the elves are mischievous, and so it will have done something else. And so, like for example, when my brother was doing it for his kids, they woke up and the elf had wrapped the toilet in Christmas paper and a bow. But there's always like they leave little gift candy or something from him, but he's mischievous. Or they found him on the counter one day, covered in flour, and there was flour all around him. My brother was like, he was supposed to be baking, but it looks like he's on a cocaine bender.
Little powder on his nose.
He went a little John Belushi on this. Holy crap.
My friend Jasmine,
The elf Scarface on the shelf.
my friend Jasmine is Armenian, and she bought the last Elf on the Shelf they had, and it was a little black girl elf on the shelf, and so
She's Armenian. Very white Armenian.
yeah, she's very pale, but her kids think naturally that the elf on the shelf is a black girl, which I love.
That's great.
Because originally it was just this little
Well,
skinny
this is-
pale white guy.
This is going to lead to the story about Black Pete.
Oh God!
Man,
I think did we ever tell this?
I don't know if we've ever told this. We had a party. We have a
Amazing.
party, a Christmas party every year. You're welcome to come to this one.
That's very nice.
And we just close friends and people we love. So it's not a lot of people. That's
And then
you're
me.
welcome.
It's like
No,
8
you're- no,
people.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
No, but you're okay. So
Bring Wyatt.
yeah, or a date. Maybe someone new. You can see these are my. You can see.
No one's getting near this monster.
That's true. How long are you keeping that?
Maybe January. We'll see if I
So we are at the party one night, and we invite a comic friend and his wife, and we start talking about our conversation eventually turns around to racism. I mean, there was something going on, and because Mahogany and Bay and CJ and Janine are black, so we end up talking about it. Eventually the conversation goes to something that's been happening, oppression, something's going on. So we start talking about Christmas, and Jesus was white or black, and all of a sudden this friend of ours who was new to the party, was the first year in.
She was the wife of a friend
wife,
of ours,
yeah.
the wife of a comedian.
She's from Denmark, where it was.
Netherlands.
So they have this thing called Black Pete, where all these, so to celebrate Black Pete.
So she starts sharing the tradition of Black Pete with our black friends. I don't know that this is happening.
No, it just got
Hold on.
It got tense and weird.
So Janine, if you've met Janine is no
She doesn't
bullshit.
like-
Wow.
She used to be an
And
attorney.
she was a lawyer, and now she's a diversity and inclusion. That's her purview at Harvard Westlake. And Janine is this bitch kind of woman.
Yeah.
And so she target locks on this girl, and the girl is trying to explain how wonderful it is.
The Black Pete celebration is great. What happens is everybody.
You made her French.
So I'm doing my best. That's like Netherlands. The accent, I don't understand
There you go,
how
yeah.
to do it. So what happens is they get the children, and all the white people.
Holy shit.
Yes!
No.
All the white people get in
And they-
blackface.
And she decided to bring that up.
So Janine goes, oh, it is. It's fun. Let me look it up. And Janine looks up
and by the
these
way,
pictures.
and I get stressed because it's my party, but I know
Oh,
Janine.
no.
So
and the girl's trying to defend it. Well, it's all a bunch of Dutch people in blackface.
in blackface celebrating Black people. And by the way, do
Wait,
you know why?
Dutch? Let's go back in time and talk about the Dutch.
You know
Well,
why?
like the
though?
origin of slavery was from the
origin of
Dutch.
slavery from Dutch. Right. Because the elves,
Because of Black Pete.
just because Santa's elves were all black, and I go,
Oh my
that means
God.
Santa had slaves.
Yes.
and Janina's go, and
Oh,
it was
it
so
got-
great to watch her like the wine trying to no, it's not about black people and being slaves for Santa, and it's not like and no, it's not racist that white people are dressing up in blackface. And by the way, it's not two people like in their college yearbook. It's literally thousands and thousands
my
of stark
God.
Dutch Dutch ass white people dressed in blackface. And at one point, you just go, I had
You could see Asha like
they don't
trying
have the
to
internet up there?
backpedal. Like it was like as Janine was like, no, go ahead, explain. And when she does that, we all get a little like. It was really.
I went and got more wine. I'm like, I'm getting some more wine.
Instead of saying, you know what, this is pretty messed up. This is pretty messed up. The girl kept defending it, which was the worst move.
At one
so.
point, I said that. I said,
Holy shit.
hey, stop. I go, just stop.
It's over.
This is horrible.
Oh my God.
So the story, people look it up. You're going to be like, first of all, you're going to be stunned that they still get away with it. This is like up to like now, right? Like it's 2018, 2019. This is like, they're still doing it. And to have a bunch of Dutch ass white people in blackface marching.
That is shocking. That is shocking.
Oh,
we need to
and
cancel
that
the
we
whole
don't
country.
even know that this is going on in cancel culture era. Why
Right.
aren't we
That's what I'm saying.
talking?
Why
Yeah,
are we shutting that country down?
Yeah.
You should build a fence around it. You guys just be with yourselves.
exactly.
Oh my God. Read the room. Read the
the
world.
world.
Read the
Read
world.
the planet, fuckers.
Exactly. Speaking of reading the planet,
Yay!
I don't know, this episode brought to you by one of our longest time and favorite companies that we work with, Harry's.
I'm going to say a brand new one. Like,
No,
right,
this is
yeah.
our first time. What?
No, longest time.
Yep.
Harry's. We got the new Christmas Winston set, which is insane. It is awesome. If you guys haven't seen this is the gift to give someone. It looks like it's already wrapped. It's in a festive box,
The
and it's a
display
hard
is
box that
awesome.
closes with the thing, and then you open it up, and it's everything. It's the handle, the travel blade cover, the blades, the shave gel or cream. It's an awesome gift.
Because it's ready. Like, again, I'll say it again, and I say it every year. People, order 2 or 3 of these. First of all, if you don't give them out for Christmas, you'll have them, and you'll be able to say, oh, I need another Harry's razor. But I'm telling you, there's always a relative, there's always a friend that shows up that you didn't know was going to be there. And you're like, oh, man, we got you this. Bam!
Do you know what, too? It's like, I bought 2 because this is my favorite deal that they do. I say this every year, and I was hoping they were going to do this again, and I started thinking they weren't. It's for people that you really like, but like you don't know that well,
Right.
but you want to give them something that's a classy thing,
a guarantee,
but
still
you
good.
know they're gonna love it, right?
Right.
And so I
And man
got
or woman, because the razors are so good.
2 of these. Yeah. Oh, this is all I use. This is all my sister uses too. Grandma doesn't have to because
can I
she's
say-
hairless.
Please don't talk about this anymore. I don't want to. Nope. La. Okay. Moving on. So my Harry's just so you know, I'm officially off all my old hair stuff. This is Harry's one of the best stuff I've ever found. I actually now go into Targets to try to find it. So,
On the road, he forgets to pack it, and so we always have to find a Target to go buy his hair stuff.
I see it at other places now.
Yeah.
I see Harry's
But
products.
the gel is so good.
My dad told me.
Oh, and they have a new dandruff shampoo. Sorry, that tells you a little bit too much about me.
I think my dad.
Jealous.
My dad.
I'd love to
he
have some
got
dandruff.
the.
Damn you!
No, with your
bragging
luck,
about the dandruff.
with your luck, you're gonna get dandruff and still no hair. So be careful.
Right, that's possible.
That's leprosy, actually. That's not dandruff. Hey, bud, parts of you are flaking off.
We rented a house and the landlord had beard dandruff. It was really one of the most
yuck.
terrifying
Oh.
things. And he was fat and the beard dandruff would settle all over his stomach. It was really one of the most, I thought that's a super villain thing to remember for a show
He
or
was
something.
a mean guy, too.
Anyway, back to Harry's side trip. Great price, best quality product. I have converted my entire family, even the ones that I don't like and that don't like me.
I don't know anybody we've got to try Harry's after we bragged about it. Or and the same with listeners too. People come to the shows all the time like, dude, you were so right about Harry's. I use the same razor for 100 years.
And you don't have to wrap it. I just tie it with killer
piece of
ribbon and
over,
it's
go,
done.
oh man, we got this for you. Yeah.
100% quality guarantee. So if you don't like it, you get a full refund. So this holiday season, here it is, my favorite. Listeners can get $5 off and free shipping on any Harry's limited edition holiday shave set when you go to harrys.com/bombshell. Comes, like I said, with a weighted handle, three razor cartridges, foaming shave gel, and a travel cover. Everything you need for a smooth shave, all packaged in one handsome holiday gift box.
You are great at reading the copy.
Claim your $5 off plus free shipping. Go to harrys.com/bombshell, BOMBSHELL. So you can pick any box. This is not the trial set. This is pick any holiday gift set.
box.
You get $5 off and free shipping.
One of the
Face today, Harry's. Go ahead.
One of the biggest things that I'm excited for giving to Wyatt is a Harry's razor, his first razor.
Is it time?
He's 10.
I know, but
You're
it's
waiting.
kind of a joke. It's like
yeah.
I was sitting in the car and he was next to me, and just the way the light caught it, I could see like a little peach fuzz. And I had a mustache really early.
No,
At
that's
like
so
12 and a half.
surprising.
Yeah, you were the guy buying beer
I was-
like,
yeah,
like
totally.
as a sophomore.
This voice
Yeah.
at 12.
You do have a little Harley.
Barker, yeah, you have like a walk into a bar bouncer. If they only knew, I'm glad they don't, because to talk to you for a
That
little
then
while.
you
was
would
a bouncer.
start singing. Hey.
Yeah.
But there you go. That was it. What was your part in nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach?
Yeah, we are goofy. That's a goofy sketch show.
Is that sketch up? Such a
I don't
dumb
think that one's
sketch.
up.
It was a really dumb one. If we put it up, don't judge our sketch ability just
I'm
on this
glad.
one.
That's a
It was
funny
our
one.
It was
first
a
one.
silly one.
It was our first one. We were trying to warm up into the sketch show,
And we were trying to fill an hour.
and we ended up filling an hour and a half. But the first two sketch shows were an hour and a half. We needed to back it down a tad.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we still need to do your fall on Spice Basket
Yeah.
Cafe. We still
We
need
have
to.
said we were going to do that
We
a
need
million
to.
times.
We need to dress up like sportscasters. All right, let's go right now to the scene. Here, oop, right there you go. Here, say oop, That is not in the
Let's
script.
freeze-
And she's going down.
Let's freeze that frame, Bob, and let's talk about what Rachel did right here. See how her arm shoots back up from the air out of frame and grabs a mic stand.
That's
and that
bolted
mic
to
stand is
nothing.
not connected to anything.
Look at that cord, guys. That is some action going on.
So she grabs the 6-ounce mic stand to hold her down.
The wire, the cord,
You
not
know
even like
Shut up. I was desperate.
you're on your way down.
You know who we should get to do it is John Henson. Like it's Wipeout.
Like, go ahead. And if you hold on, listen to this noise as she hits the floor. Whap.
Yes,
That's
it was a
spaghetti sauce.
smack.
That's the spaghetti sauce and body.
It did make a loud noise.
I think you landed completely horizontal, like perfectly.
Oh, your legs
like
went
a
out.
board.
Oh, I was.
Yeah, you went
Oh,
out.
yeah.
You
I
laid
was
out.
levitating for a split second and then landed
Yes,
full body.
belly
Yeah.
flopped.
It was amazing.
And then I go to help her, and she's laughing so hard in my face that I can't help her off the ground.
You can't see me, but you hear you going, "Oh my God, are you okay, babe?" And I'm laughing so hard. And what do I say? We got it on camera, right? We got it, right?
But that's comedy right there. You weren't ashamed. You're like, oh, we got that.
That's my grandma. When you got her stuck 4 feet into the snow and you were trying to rock her back and forth and seesaw her, and she was laughing so hard. You told me later I couldn't get her out because she was laughing so hard, and you were worried she was going to break and I was going to kill you. That's grandma. I come from a long line of women who laugh hysterically when we make asses of ourselves.
Man, you guys are a good family though. We are not used to that. We're not in, and I've learned it over the years being with you. But man, a good family is tough. So all you people that have the effed up families that show up with bags of clothing and say, "Yeah, pick something," we get you. And those of you who have good families that sit around, you probably listen to the podcast. I'm guessing they're not fans of mine. If you have really great families and everything going, you're just like, he seems angry and bitter all the time.
They could be listening for me.
That's true. That happens a lot. I think
For a cautionary tale.
I think they listen maybe 6% for me. And
No, I'm just saying. Some normal people might be like, "Oh, I get her." I mean, my life was not normal later. It just was saved for later.
Yeah, mine was always bad. Yours was was idyllic. Yours literally was a Norman Rockwell
And then
painting.
nutso.
Yeah, and then what? 16, 15, 16. 15, 16 is still. It's not as bad as a 12, but it's still bad. It's a bad time with the shit to go sideways. You know?
Yeah.
Especially if
Yeah.
you, and do you think that you fell harder because it was so idyllic? 'Cause I'm just used, that's why it was like you get stressed when things go wrong because you had such an idyllic life. I think I don't get that stressed when things go wrong.
This is a myth that you propagate that is not true. Let me share with you.
Give me a second to look up the word propagate.
our early morning.
And me look up myth.
Thank
What is
you.
that?
This early morning, 3:00 this morning. I am the lightest sleeper ever. I have insomnia a lot. But I'm definitely a very light sleeper. If you change your breathing, I'm awake. And I feel a disturbance in the force in the Titus bedroom. And weirdest shit ever. I sleep in an eye mask, eyelashes. He calls me Batman. I lift the eye mask up and he is sitting in the dark, straight up against the headboard like this.
Oh, that's fucking terrifying.
It was terrifying.
Why?
It was terrifying.
Well, okay, so here's the problem.
Rachel!
No. Here's okay. So
From Batman. It's Batman.
it's very Chucky. I guess I do understand now that you describe it the way you saw it. It's very Chucky. I woke up, and lately I don't know what's happening to me lately.
Stress.
I wake up.
It's stress
Stress.
that you deny you have.
I wake up like that now, and I'm up, and there's
in the middle of the night
there's
constantly.
no going
lately.
back. That's a weird part. There's no going back. So I always learned that because it happened to me when I started comedy in San Francisco, I was obviously going through a lot of stress trying to make it, doing that and working in my shitty jobs. So I went through the same thing, and I don't know what's happening now. I think it's the end of the pandemic, and we're working a lot. I don't know whatever it is. I'm
You
worried
are
about
definitely
I'm worried about you. I'm worried about you.
overworked, overtired.
I was going to say, and your sleep schedule is jacked up.
Such a
'cause
mess.
you're travel-
You're driving
Oh.
after a show,
Yeah.
all
All night,
going
yeah.
100
All
miles an
night this
hour.
week.
Or
Yeah.
flying
Trying to be alert.
East Coast, West Coast. Like
Putting
today
stimulus in my body, drinking coffee, and yeah, right.
Today is my second day home and we leave tomorrow. So
Right.
and for the most part of our travel since we got back on the road has been that we're home for a day and a half, and then we're gone
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And so it has been a little bit crazy.
We may pull some gigs, but we needed to go.
I'm 100% pulling some of mine.
Just to be clear, we were at 0.
Yeah. So he's
we were at
Yeah.
0. I'm trying to get to a place where I can sleep. So I'm sitting there, and here's why.
but I forgot about that. It was the most terrifying thing.
I know how light she sleeps, so I'm trying to. And I've and
You
I-
could have at least
and I've been
closed
yelled
your
at in the past
eyes
for
a little
waking her
bit
up.
more
I tried.
instead of in the dark, but I can see his profile.
Loud breathing too.
So no. Here's what happened. I was going to grab my computer and go and start doing something because I figured get my
Oh,
brain
and
busy.
throw the blue light on her. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
totally.
she's got an eye mask on.
Oh,
She's got a good
okay.
eye mask. I can see it. But I know her, and I know that if I'm moving at all, she
Yeah.
like literally the dogs won't wake up. The dogs that are supposed to wake up for burglars,
No, they don't.
she'll hear them before anything.
They're LA dogs. They're like, you
Right.
figure it out.
Yeah,
got this.
I'll come home from somewhere like and she'll be in bed like when I came in from San
Yeah.
Jose, I drove from San Jose, she was already home in bed, and I walk in the bedroom and I get to the bed and one of the dogs goes barf. That was it. It wasn't even like
Wow, I feel safe.
yeah. It was,
Not the front door,
no,
not anything.
already in the house,
Yeah.
over her with the knife. Barf.
Yeah. and then yeah, they're terrible guard dogs, I will say. They bark all day at nothing.
But
though.
if I move a little bit, you're up. And then so I'm sitting there and I'm just sitting there I was trying to manage my thoughts. I was literally trying to manage my mind where things are going. Because, I've been preaching this new show about that I had that near death experience and like nothing really matters. And everything was mattering again, and I was trying to get back.
Anyone can
see
Nothing really matters. Nothing really matters. Too tight.
Then I'm sitting there like
That was it. I'm just a poor boy. That's the part of the song you were on. I'm just a poor boy.
nobody
Nobody
loves me. He's just a boy. That's in my head. That was in my head.
Thunderbolt and lightning.
Yeah, that's where I was when I was.
Do you
sitting
know
at-
what? After you woke me up, and by you woke me up,
I
I
didn't-
mean by doing
I
that.
didn't wake you up. I was quiet. I was
My
sitting there.
sister all week sang Meli Kaliki Maka. She doesn't know the song. She didn't even get, she was like,
She
Meiki
actually just says it.
Kapuki Baka. But she, da da da, she was doing that. And so I finally told her the words. I played it in the car one night and she was like, play it again. And she would sing along again. So all week she sang it. All day, every day. I begged her to stop. But it at least helped me get back from the Beatles Get Back thing out of my head because that went on for 3 weeks. So
that was your fault, though.
So this morning, I went after we woke up. I laid there in my head going, Meli Kaliki Maka. Like constant. I can't get it out of my head. So I wanted to give it to all of you. Meli Kaliki
Well, we
Maka.
also, when my son was little, he sang it. And it, by the way, that song, for whatever reason, is an earworm because it's stuck in our heads.
Yes, it did.
Super
He
catchy.
rehearsed.
Yeah.
He had
It's like a
played it
rap.
at the talent show. He sang it.
No, it was for
Christmas play.
with his class. They all wore Hawaiian shirts. And yeah.
And so we were walking around for 3 months. Malakaliki maka. I sing the Dean Martin version. Malakaliki maka
It was
is
awful.
the thing to say on a bride. Howdy doody. So
Hawaiian Christmas
we could
thing.
talk about that. We haven't talked about the Beatles thing. We just watched it.
Oh, yeah.
It
Phenomenal.
was pretty cool. I'd like to
great.
talk about that.
I'm not a Beatles fan. I know.
Are you now?
You are now.
Yeah.
I'm a Paul McCartney fan more than
I'm
I
not.
was.
I never was. I don't mean I didn't like them, but when you were younger and people would always go vanilla or chocolate. Elvis or the Beatles? Elvis, 100%.
Yep.
And so we watched it, and it
have
was
both.
so good that we would come home, like when we were in Pittsburgh or wherever we were, Milwaukee, weekend too, and I'd say, put on the Beatles thing, and we would get back into bed and start whatever
It's like
episode
9
again.
hours of documentary.
It was, I don't know why it was so compelling and addictive. And when it ended, I felt a loss.
I
Like,
wanted another series.
Yeah.
I want another season of this. That's
There's
what
more
I
footage,
thought.
so I'm sure there's going to
Yeah.
be another.
it
We're
was
back.
amazing. 100% Yoko. It was nuts. It was nuts to watch.
Why was she sitting right in the middle of the two? There's
Of every band
they're at work.
with a newspaper or a magazine this big, holding it out like this.
And
It's
John and Paul are talking across her
Just so
face.
you know, there's a
it's a
controversy.
passive aggressive.
There's a
thing to do.
I heard an English newscaster say
Controversy?
a controversy. I was like, I'm driving. What the fuck did you just say? It's got. Can I play the Prince song for you, please?
Right.
Hold that thought though for a second. This
All right.
episode also brought to you by
The
Butcher
Beatles.
Box.
What?
No, but it does start with a B.
Oh, okay, good.
Butcher Box, another company that we absolutely love, and I cannot say this enough.
I was
Do
taking
it.
inventory last night in the garage.
I know. This is what I'm saying though. This is the best time to try it. Try it. If you don't like it, stop it. But it is such a great time through New Year's and going into the next year after like you're super exhausted and you don't want to go to the grocery store, or holiday time where your family's there and you need stuff to cook and you need ideas, and going and doing this will help you get ideas of stuff to make. We have made stuff that we've never had before.
Those pork chops, which I was never into. The ones you got from Butcher Box were stunning.
They're like this thick.
Yep.
They're insane. We don't usually eat pork chops, but we've had those several times.
Well, it's a really lean meat. It
We've
was
got
good.
lobster tails in
Lobster
there.
tails, right? We're gonna do those.
We've got steaks. We have whole chicken. It's like crazy. And what they have is, I couldn't even list it all. If you just have to go look at the website and just see how many, I didn't know that many types and cuts of meat existed.
But is it just meat, or is it a meat that is raised differently?
It's 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, wild-caught seafood, and more. It changes. Their sourcing decisions are made holistically, which is something I love. It keeps farmer, planet, animal, and your family in mind. A lot of companies don't do that, especially when you go to the grocery store and just grab whatever is there. So every month, Butcher Box will ship you a curated box of high quality meat. It comes to your home. You don't have to go anywhere, and you get free shipping, even though it weighs so much. Free shipping within the continental U.S. No antibiotics or added hormones. Each box is 8 to 14 pounds of meat, depending on what you choose. So you can choose your own box.
Right.
They have ones pre-selected, or you can drag and drop. It's pretty cool. Packed fresh, shipped frozen for your convenience. Don't have to leave your house. Again, I mean, you guys know that's my
the
favorite
no
thing.
hormone things is good. The meat is so healthy, and I've since I've only eat Butcher Box meat now, I've stopped.
It's no
growing
added
boobs,
hormones.
which is good.
Like, some meat has hormones anyway, but they don't add hormones, which a lot of companies do to make it bigger.
and the grass-fed thing.
Yeah.
It must
Butcher
make a
Box.
difference, because you think, how good could meat be?
Yeah, yeah.
You've had chicken, you've had steak your whole life, right? But then when I made it all in one night, all together, the chicken and the steaks. It was the best chicken I've ever had.
Yep, intense.
And I made it.
Yep.
And it was the best steak I've ever had. And I made the steak on like, I just butter basted it. It was amazing.
You did it in a pan?
I did it in a pan. Yeah.
So I think I mentioned that in our hotel room podcast that we did, that you went out of your way to text me on the weekend to say, and I thought, he must really mean this, because you stopped after you cooked and went, I gotta text them and tell them how good this was. Best chicken he's ever had. There you go. He eats a lot of chicken. So this holiday, ButcherBox is giving new members 1 pack of bacon for free in every box, plus $20 off each box for the next 5 months of your membership. So that's free bacon for life and up to $100 off for the first 5 months of your membership. Sign up at butcherbox.com/Titus. That's butcherbox.com/Titus. The bacon is nitrate free. It's like they just
a
quality,
phrase, free
high
bacon
quality.
for life sounds like a threat.
So that means that for how long you're with ButcherBox, though, every month, no matter what you pick, they're going to give you a free thing of
bacon.
It's crazy.
Yep.
I don't know. They know what they're doing, I'm sure.
Yep.
It seems crazy.
Making money.
So, Beatles.
Beatles. So we watched the thing, and everyone was talking about it. I was walking online. Some very funny comics I follow were just into it, and I was like, all right, you know what? I'm a Beatles fan, but not like I'm a Prince fan. But I think without the Beatles, there would not be a Prince. Prince wouldn't have done what he did. But anyway, so we started watching it, and you watched it, right? You talked.
I watched it. Yep.
The first thing was so weird, and you can see how. And I kept telling her that fucking guy that manager was making him go, you're going to go to Libya, you're going to do it in the desert. And everyone's trying to be polite, which is great.
Right.
Because they were the Beatles at the time. They could have said, motherfucker, get out of here. But they were so nice. They were very nice. And they were like, yeah, no, I don't think it's going to be like that. I don't want to do that.
That was British yelling.
I don't really think we would be best. Why are we going to go to Libya when we could do it here, you know? And McCartney was like, I kept waiting for McCartney to come in as this megalomaniac, and he was the nicest guy. And I kept thinking that like my expectation for John Lennon was going to be this over the top guru-esque genius that got blown out of the water. George Harrison I thought was just chill and stuff, and that got blown out of the water. And then Ringo Starr, who I always thought of was, I don't know, man,
was exactly the same as you thought.
Yeah, he was. He was just a mellow dude. Yeah. But did you see?
That was Ringo you were just doing, really.
Ringo was more like this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was interesting about Ringo is to watch him play. So Ringo just did this. I'm the drummer. What are you guys doing? And he would just he was listening for time.
Right. He would follow it and then feel the changes.
But watch him if you watch this and get back. Watch Ringo when they're playing something and he's not playing. He's listening. Holy shit, was he intense? Holy shit.
What was amazing to me was that they all played multiple instruments, John Lennon included. All
Just
four
like
of them.
nothing.
Yeah, they would just be sitting at the piano, and then they were on the guitar, and then they were on
bass.
the slide thingy. It was crazy.
Slide thingy.
And Paul McCartney, though, every episode within, because it's actual footage of them in rehearsals with Yoko in the middle of them, the very center of
We're
4
gonna talk about
men
this after.
doing
Let's talk
a
about the Yoko
band
thing at the
rehearsal,
end.
which is their business.
Let's talk about McCartney.
Okay. He would just sit there and be playing the guitar for himself and then find a tune he liked, or on the piano and kind of messing around. And then he would find a tune he liked, and then he would just start spitting out words, and you would realize, holy shit, that's Get Back.
Yeah.
Or that's
There's the title of the movie right there.
The Long and Winding Road.
And he was just like, and they changed the words a little bit. And
He's like, leads me back, done. Okay, next. What the hell?
And then after they start playing whatever song, because then they would start to join in, and you'd realize he just made up on the spot in the last hour 5 iconic songs
that we all know.
And then it would come up on the screen.
From the time we were like babies, we've heard this song.
Then it would come up on the screen, Get Back, written by Paul McCartney and John Lennon.
Lennon was in the bathroom.
Yes,
he wasn't even.
But
he
that
wasn't
was
there
their,
sometime.
That was their deal with the record company. That
Hey,
they
my
were
name's
both.
Paul. How come no one's here?
I'm the only one writing these songs.
Hey, Ringo, is anyone else?
Oh, I don't know. They're not here yet.
Well, Paul McCartney was always there, and Ringo was
early.
always there,
Yep.
but the other two were not. And George Harrison was a lot grumpier than I ever knew. He was mad about some
being
stuff.
like a Buddhist,
That's what I thought.
being a monk. He's
Yeah.
got Hare Krishnas in the corner.
But
Yeah.
maybe that's why
He's
he
all
needed
mad.
him, because he was so uptight. Because like, you know what? I am so intense. You know, I'm whining about everything. I'm just gonna have a Hare Krishna with him. Maybe they can keep me calm, and it didn't work.
It didn't
But
work.
what was
He
funny
quit.
is when he quit, it was like the most calm. Like like he did barely anything. He's like, I'm leaving now. Like, oh,
I'm
wait,
leaving.
what?
No, it was like, I'm leaving you. I'm out of the Beatles. That was like the biggest thing you could
Yeah.
do, and he just walked out, and they're all
they're like,
and they all
"What?"
kind of go, "What do you mean he left? He
Oh,
left."
and John Lennon was like, when? Now.
No, and then but McCartney, I have a huge respect for McCartney. I did not realize I had this vision. Because the legend is it's McCartney Lennon, right? And so the legend was that they were together and and John Lennon. I always thought John Lennon was the brains, but it's pretty obvious in this special.
I think in the earlier days.
Yeah. Because John Lennon started the Beatles. He brought Paul McCartney
Yes.
in.
Yeah. Right.
So it was
He
already
in
a
the
band.
Quarrymen, and then
Yeah.
and then Paul joined, and then George.
I honestly liked all of them. I mean, I
did too.
liked John. I thought he needed to shake the old ball and chain from time to time and man up. But
So there's a controversy about this. A
but
controversy. for this.
a controversy. I liked him, and I liked how he would be like, "We're fucking stars. You don't talk to us like that. We're fucking stars."
Yeah,
Yeah,
making fun of it.
they're
Making fun of themselves, being iconic already. I mean, they were all cool people. I
Yeah.
thought
yeah.
And
yes.
how they made fun of their own songs, like they were doing parodies of their own songs.
that was really
Love that.
funny. Where
Yeah.
they were, yeah, I loved that. So go ahead, tell us the controversy.
The controversy is everybody's saying that because a lot of people were like, Yoko, man, was in the middle of the Beatles and one of their most iconic moments, and you can see them. It felt watching it. Now I'm just gonna. It felt like things were kind of going off the rails, and she wasn't adding to keeping it on the rails, is what I felt. And although McCartney said at one point, he goes, oh, it's crazy that with the Beatles broke up because Yoko was sitting on an amp. I get it, but I've never seen it's such a passive aggressive thing to go sit. Okay, so you're the girlfriend of the most iconic band ever, right? That pretty much invented pop
and they
music.
were 10 years in at that point.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
the fucking Beatles.
Yep.
And for some reason, and this big deal, and by the way, you're a recording artist. What did you think about when they got that big studio and they tried to make them rehearse in that big giant soundstage?
That could have gone either way. It made sense that when they went in there, given the fact that they hadn't played live together in
A long time.
years,
How many? It was 3 years.
3 years.
which is a lifetime when you're in a
Yeah.
band. Because it's like if you step off the
Lifetime
road,
for any performance.
Yeah, so
I could
right.
never get up
2
and
weeks
do
out of comedy. Yeah, 2 weeks
and
out.
then
Yeah.
go write your show at Carnegie Hall,
Yeah.
and then make that work
Right.
from scratch. Go ahead and write it, and then try to work the audience. There's nobody there.
They were
And you're like,
relearning everything.
Big echo.
When I said that, I go crazy. I go, wait, they have to have this album ready and fucking done by the 18th?
Yeah.
And it was the first. That was insane.
Now, however, that
it's
part,
like a reality show. This is the shittiest reality show ever.
but that part is what really resonated with me.
Right.
The fact that how they were, it was a mix of like the planning and a lot of people coming together and trying to arrange it, and they were making decisions on the fly to meet the deadline, and they had to be creative and put out great stuff at the same time. That felt like, I know we're not the Beatles, but it felt like what we went through in the last 2 years
Yeah.
of being in a
It's a
position.
valid point. I didn't think about that, but we did.
Just like that. It felt like,
Not just like that, because
no, because she's not Yoko.
I was Ringo. And
you would be Ringo. You would be McCartney.
We didn't.
I might be George.
No, you're definitely John. We didn't really have a George.
I could be
We
Lennon
didn't-
because
we-
Lennon definitely
you were
had a
like-
more laid back, like, what's the
But
fucking problem?
the second he jumped in, that's what was interesting to me to watch. To watch the first.
I guess you're right, because John and Paul, when they would look at each other and start, it was magic between them. You could
Yeah,
see
they had a
the
shorthand. Like,
familiarity.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
Because the first episode I didn't really get. Everybody seemed kind of irritated, annoyed. There was no joy in it really. It was loose and grumpy.
Yeah.
I get it.
it was the morning
album.
they're yawning. It was like
Yeah.
9 a.m.
Yeah.
and they're trying to like be
And
a
then the
band.
calendar, they kept crossing off the days of calendar, which stressed me out. I was like, you motherfuckers have to have an album done in
Yes.
like 2 weeks.
Oh, and they also put the date for things way too far
Yeah.
on the date. And I was like,
Yeah.
yep. Do you think you're like, oh, we're just going to knock these songs out. Everything's going to work perfectly and line up perfectly. And then we're going to nail it.
Yeah,
And
right.
then, so if they had been done by the 14th, end of
They're
like
like,
28th,
nope.
the 28th,
Yeah.
right? End of the, so when in the manager, I kept telling Ray, I go, watch it. I go, these are suits. That guy kept coming in and going, well, you know what we're gonna do? And the guy goes, maybe we could do it at a hospital, but we do it for like at a children's hospital, but not kids with really, really bad.
Yeah, that was
bad. I was like, the fuck are you talking? And someone said, just the kids with minor injuries.
How are we going to vet that?
But that's by the way, every suit who isn't creative does the same bullshit. No, it'll be at a hospital, it'll be great.
Yeah.
We don't use really sick kids. And then
Yes.
so then the second one they got together, but the second there's a moment where Yoko, okay, so you guys, so it's Paul and John. And for whatever, and they're close to each other. They're tuning in a little bit to each other. It's starting to happen where you can see they're getting Jojo. They tried to make a Get Back like a racist, like it was an anti-racist song.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, Yoko Ono's sitting right between them.
Yeah.
And not doing this, not like part of it, like, all right.
Like, yeah.
She's got a book or a magazine.
She's
and
doing something else.
But she's got her, and just sat there, and I
As though she's not even sitting in the middle
She's
of
scrapbooking.
the Beatles.
Yeah.
she's scrapbooking, exactly.
While they're writing the fucking hits
she's
of the
stitching
world.
a sampler pillow. What are you doing?
Or she's
you
in the
doing?
background painting,
Yeah. If you're going to be here, be here. Don't
But-
get in the way of the work.
But male or female, if I were in a group of women in a band and
Go-Go's.
somebody brought their dude every day,
Right.
I would say
If I sat
this
between you-
is for the band to rehearse,
Yeah.
not boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever.
Right.
It was,
But everybody else
crazy.
felt like that.
Yes.
Everybody else was like, guys, just stare.
We're at work right now, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
This is not.
It's
But
work,
It's
yes.
like me sitting between you and Belinda Carlisle on the Go-Go's, just like this.
Playing a
And just
video
on my
game.
phone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. On my PlayStation. Just like, go ahead, girls, whatever. Yeah. And you guys are cranking out brilliant music, and I'm not even reacting. So a they're people saying,
They're
well,
like trying to-
they're
Did you
saying,
get my note?
It was a performance art piece, was it? And then they let her sing at one point. And I
Oh,
remember thinking,
it wasn't singing, was it?
I remember
Was
thinking,
that
you know,
singing?
you can say what you want to be avant-garde, you can say what you want about art, but I don't know. I wanted to. It made me want to catch COVID so I could sleep.
That's what people are saying now. It was a performance piece. Again,
No,
if,
it wasn't.
If you have a performance piece to do it. The Beatles are rehearsing.
They're in their performance
They're
piece.
trying to get an album out
So we all
and a
agree with this,
show.
all right.
So do your little yeah performance piece somewhere else, away from serious people who are actually making a living doing the art that they're doing.
Yeah.
Back.
If let's say she was
To where you once belong.
Dun, dun. We actually randomly have
wasn't
looked at each
alone.
other constantly since then and just gone dun dun, and it puts it back in each other's heads. And we don't have to go on about it. But I was very annoyed.
But the last episode is great. They go on that rooftop, and it's really the way they cut it is so beautiful. The Beatles go on the rooftop. This is the last time they ever played live, and they play 5 songs, but they play them 5 songs 3 times. Same 5 songs. 3 times. That was
was weird.
interesting.
That
was a little like
I thought it was interesting. They were trying to get takes. They were doing takes. I guess this was going to be a Beatles movie, so they were doing takes. And the weirdest thing about it, at one point, and Lennon, I kept thinking, when is Lennon going to come alive? And that was the rooftop. It was fucking stunning.
right.
And you
He
could
switched
see,
it on.
but
Yeah.
I'm getting chills again. You can see. All of a sudden I got why they were the Beatles and iconic, because John Lennon, when he got on that roof and was performing, some guys, I know comics like that. They're not good getting ready. They're not good at writing. They're not good, but they're brilliant on stage and can make shit up. Like I can't make shit up. I have to write it, work it, then I get good. There's comics that can get on stage, and the second on stage, they become a different human being. And I thought John Lennon became a different human being. And then him and Paul McCartney was like, he was lit up.
I feel like the other big moment was when Billy Preston started playing. When he walked in.
that was awesome.
The songs were kind of like, they sound a little thin.
He added
There's something
exactly
missing.
what
It filled in and fleshed it out, the sound, and everybody knew it in the room. And they're like, oh, now we got the show.
Yeah.
And he was just happy. He was just a
Positive.
positive
Yeah.
influence.
The
in
whole
room.
energy, even when he wasn't saying anything. You're like, Preston's here, it's going to be okay.
Every time they would cut to him, it'd be a side view of this.
Yeah.
He never was like this, or he just was happy to be there.
And the one moment that's the weirdest moment of the whole thing for me after 9 hours or whatever that documentary is at the end of John Lennon, Paul McCartney, Ringo, and George playing on that rooftop where the cops are trying to shut them down and people in the street are like going, "Is that the Beatles? I like it. It sounds great."
Yeah.
You know, and then they interview the one old guy's like, "I want them shut down. I want them shut down. I want them out." And then there's another guy's like, "It's the Beatles. I'm 80. I like the Beatles. You can play as long as you want."
And you could hear it coming
good
through the thing.
boys.
I'm like, that's not even.
It's England though.
Right.
I mean, the leaf blower had not been invented yet. They weren't like
It's still tea. It's all tea time all the time.
So there's a moment at the very end. Lennon gets done with this brilliant performance. You can tell he's fucking pumped.
They've synced.
The Beatles, they gelled. It gelled totally. There was no more weirdness. There was no dickheads at management on the set with him. And Yoko Ono comes over to him and they cut away from it fast. But he hugs her, big smile, and she's got this look on her face. And he goes, "What's wrong?" And they cut away. And I
don't remember seeing that. I have to watch it.
Yeah, it's at the end. It's right. It's that fast. He goes, "What's wrong?" And
fuck?
Yeah, but
Is that like a jealousy
I've
thing
been
or
in
something?
that relationship. I've been in that relationship where you can't. There's
You're
no
gonna
joy.
get hate mail about
There's
this. I don't
no
know why
joy in
people
living.
are so mad about this whole
What?
thing. About you saying that that you thought Paul McCartney was the guy that kind of drove the band.
But he was
and
the
then
end.
you saying that Yoko split him up, and people, I mean, I guess people will fight about anything these days. I mean, it's like
I don't think
think they
Paul
were
McCartney said they didn't. Paul McCartney said she didn't split him up.
They
Paul
were
McCartney
on the
said
way
it.
to splitting
Paul
up anyway.
McCartney
I agree.
said in an interview with Rolling Stone in 2016 that it was that he's not sexist, but we didn't have girls at our band practices, and it wasn't. I should look up the exact quote, but it was not conducive to getting things
Let's just
done.
say it wasn't helpful to keep the Beatles.
Yeah.
Having an outside person who wasn't part of the Beatles.
It really changes the
having
dynamic.
a fucking
Yes.
opinion about the Beatles. You know what? If I had a successful group, doesn't matter who the outsiders were. If we had done that much for 10 years, and then, by the way, can I have my opinion now? No, you actually can't. We're good. We're the Beatles.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Yeah.
I'll see you when I get home.
It's almost like they were having, like, if it was any kind of business, right? And there's a board meeting, and all the CFOs and CEO, everyone's in there, and then one guy just has his wife sitting in the middle. She's crocheting.
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on here?
Exactly. Elon Musk's wife walking to the Tesla plant, just grabbing wrenches and shit. What are you doing? What are you doing? We're inventing the future. What are you doing? So people get mad at me, but I just watched it. Watch it. I mean, watch it. If you don't think, here's what I don't think. I think that Yoko Ono loved John Lennon more than anything. I think John Lennon loved Yoko Ono. I think that there's a reason George Harrison quit. And I don't think it's because John and Paul or Ringo.
Yep.
I think when he quit there.
This was another little nugget with
Yep.
George. Do you remember this? It was a really quick interaction where Paul was describing their trip to
India.
well, yes, and how he was describing it.
Yeah.
And George completely took offense, and that's when I was like, oh, he was really pissed about this because he started
at him a lot. I
Yeah.
thought. He really reacted, or they'd cut to him looking at McCartney, and you'd be like, oh. But
Yep.
I read in I think it was this Rolling Stone interview that actually of all of them, George and Paul remained
Friends,
closest
yeah.
of all of them, which I
But
thought was weird.
But in the first one, George is bringing in song ideas, and it's when a comic, it's when someone who's not a comic tries to give me a joke, and it's not a good joke.
Yeah.
Or I don't. Think
Why'd you
it's
look at
gonna
me
work.
when?
No, because
Sometimes
you know.
when-
Because
I was kidding.
You
See how that worked?
you save the Armageddon updates all the time. You are the Paul McCartney of the Armageddon
Oh,
updates.
thanks.
No,
Here's some words I wrote. I said them out loud. Can you fix it?
that's me.
It could be a little one, you know.
Wow. So where George is pitching a song and McCartney's being polite to him. I saw one of the, it was like, oh yeah, that could work. That's all right. Yeah, that might be okay. And the one thing I thought about McCartney, you can say what you want. He was the fucking engine, man. He was there when he was supposed to be. He never stopped playing. He never stopped working. I have so much respect for Paul McCartney now, and I really get it. I got it when they were on stage up top on that rooftop. I really was like, holy shit. And John Lennon was, what a bummer. They should have went 3 more years. I think they should have went 3 to 5 more years. I think they would have created some great stuff.
Well,
the difference.
Lennon did Imagine. I mean, they did go on to
Wings.
create.
Yeah, Wings. We should tell the Wings story again.
We always tell that story.
Okay.
Well, you have the connection to the Wings.
No, we told you the story about Leno. So I go on the Tonight Show one night, and she's with me, and I do Tonight Show, and Leno. I got divorced, and I get this new girl. I go, she's 13 years younger than me, and Leno goes, so. She always talks about. She goes, what do you mean? Paul McCartney had a band before Wings, and he got, like that, which is even like would be an old joke then. And so what happens is that we get in the car on the way home. I do this performance on the Tonight Show. I'm driving home, and she goes, just so you know, I know who Winger is.
Oh boy,
dude! I burst out laughing. I started laughing, and I went. Wings.
See?
Paul McCartney and Wings.
Okay, well, I had no
There's
idea.
also Winger.
I had
yeah, there's a Winger. She
well,
she was
Winger,
right.
that I knew, but Wings I didn't. I had no idea.
Band on the Run.
So now I did not know. I had never heard of the Wings before. But when he sings that song, I know that song, sort of, but I did not know of Wings.
And then I go, you know that Axl Rose did not write Live and Let Die. I go, that's not a Guns N' Roses song. And she was like, no, yes it was.
Oh,
and
no.
I go, no, it's not. It's Paul McCartney and Wings. It made me laugh. It was cute. It was cute as who's a big girl now? Who's a big girl?
This reading about this.
I see. Ow.
A large part of the problem, like George Harrison, when they went to his house to convince him to come back, and they said that the meeting ended abruptly because Yoko decided to speak for John and to get in his face and tell him, and so that conversation disintegrated. They had to try again, remember? Mm-hmm. But Harrison, they said, complained that Yoko sometimes had a voice in band matters that equaled or bested even his own. Worse, Lennon and Ono were now practicing heightened awareness based on a belief that verbal communication was unnecessary between people tuned in.
Yeah, let me roll my
so
eyes
it made communication in the band very difficult.
You know what? So I'm in that band. I say, quit being a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
They said Lennon wouldn't speak and Ono would then speak for him when they were trying to make band decisions. I don't understand why people don't think she had something to do with it.
Shit.
And then McCartney says in that interview in 2016 that then he found out that they were doing heroin, and that he said that was certainly a shock.
How about the moment you caught him when the camera goes to him?
Oh, did you see
Yes.
that moment?
Yes,
that
yes.
was
And he
the
was like, oh, shit.
weirdest moment. He
Yeah.
goes to
He
get something out of his pocket,
takes out a bindle.
remembers,
It's a little round bindle. And he puts it way back.
remembers, looks
Like
at
he
the
got caught.
camera, stunned, like panicked for a second, and then very uncomfortably puts it back and looks away. And I said, did you see that? And he said, no. And so he rewound it so he could see it. He panics because he almost did it on camera.
Imagine that. Imagine just someone getting involved. Like on like if we were doing Titus and we have the cast and crew, and Zach, if Zach's wife or Aaron had come in and walked into to a rehearsal when we were working with Keach and going, you know what I think you guys should do?
Oh my
God.
God.
All the heads turn like,
we think you should fuck off is what we think you should do. Wow.
Man or woman, that's what I'm saying. It's weird. You need your own life and your own thing. Let him do his job. It felt condescending to who he and they all were and what they had built. They built something massive. They had already become iconic, and it felt very condescending.
Yeah.
Like there was no respect for that being important, I thought.
Yeah,
but
agreed.
performance piece. Okay.
Watch it.
It seemed like at that point they had already all considered that they're breaking up. It's over. They're already individual. They're already going to go on their solo things.
I just didn't think it was. I kept waiting for that to be like infighting and yelling, and even like
that
you
was
said
for them. As he
I guess
said.
yeah. I guess for George Levin was bad, but I think I guess when
We've already got $200 million in the bank, each of us. So, fuck it.
We've got Apple stock.
Yeah. Anyway, this shirt.
Can I?
I'll have these for sale.
My God,
You
I'm
did
talking.
interrupt my sales pitch.
Oh, I didn't know that. Go ahead.
No,
No, you were arching your back. I want to hear it.
I'm done.
Alpha Chick shirts. So we'll have them a thing for Christmas, people. We'll have them here actually for Christmas too. If you want to actually go to the website and order, are they on the website?
RachelBradleyComedy.com.
RachelBradley.comedy.com. We'll get them. Also, the Titus tour shirts are available there. We have a new order coming in, or you can get them on this tour the next 3 nights. But I want to say Chad Ovitz did this bit. He did about the legend. I like when a comic will take the simplest thing and make it into something. He said on the bottle of Coors, it says the legend of Coors. And so he just starts kind of talking about it. And then he goes into this bit where it's his closer. He's doing this bit of, Odin came into the cave! And he does this fucking, he does this crazy.
Right, what's the legend?
The legend. And it was I'm not going to do his bit, but it was great.
Okay.
All right. We have to wrap it up. I'm getting the look. So before
I have to pee. I've had to pee forever, and you guys go on and on and on. I keep trying to.
We can always cut away from
I announced the old tour dates are Ruski.
All right. So guys, go to Christopher.
And then he was like, "No, let me do a bit."
Shut it.
That's not mine.
Before Chris,
Right.
shut it
What
on
are we
YouTube.
doing?
Shut it on Christopher Titus TV.
Now I gotta pee.
I gotta pee too. Christopher Titus TV. Go watch
It's
it.
only
Please
2
subscribe.
bathrooms.
Shut up for a second, people.
Nope.
Jojo was a man who thought he was alone.
Dun, dun. So, got Christopher Titus TV on YouTube, guys. Watch it. We have a lot of content up there. The Lauren Boebert one from last week got 56,000 views
Already?
in a week. Pretty
Yep.
crazy. There's a new one coming out all the time. Please subscribe to the channel to see what we're talking about. We'll keep you informed of the news, and we will scream sanity while the rest of the world is fucking insane. For myself, the lovely Bombshell Ray, and the Hylinder. Later.
Peace out. Beatles.
Titus Podcast. Hylinder.
Bum, ba, bum.
Bombshell Ray.
Okay.
Bum, ba, bum.
Christopher.
Bum, ba, da.
Did you say
Wait,
that?
and that's what. Bum.
E chord.
Is that a song? A real one?
Long and Winding Road ends with
By the Wings.
Winger.
They got 4 pianos in the room, and it ends the last note. They all at the same time all hit 4 pianos, and that note goes on forever.
And somebody moved the chair. You could hear a chair creak.
Mother
Damn it!
Harrison!